13 years, I have taught myself how to do everything that has to do with the business, from, you know, the photography, the website, building an audience, doing events. And I always, when we do this cafe networking, I always said, for me, one of the best ways to advertise and to promote is to do events. Now that we are doing through Corona, this right now, like we're doing right now, could be done for every business. You know, no matter what business you have, you could create events that even if they don't make you money right now, they could help you grow your follow-up while you are at home or where there's not much to do. So I'm doing that. I'm creating small events online and in person for small groups. You know, as a food industry is a bit different than any other businesses, and right now is probably one of the worst industries they out there. So I just want to make that point to people, like understand what the service sector is going through right now and how hard it is for people to continue the businesses, how much support they're going to need when they can reopen. I know we're not in the position to support people right now, but you know, we either do it or we all or we all break down. So if you know, I think for getting a business online, you know, a few years ago when we reopened the restaurant with a bit of a different theme, I created this whole platform where people could book tickets online for my events, because I was sick and tired of people booking and then not showing up and me losing money, and I had very reduced space for it, so I couldn't lose any. And when I did that 3 years ago, people said, "Oh, that's crazy. You know, nobody's gonna book like that. Who's gonna pay for a meal ahead and things like that?" And I thought, well, we'll see. and it worked, and it worked so well for me for the last 2 years to have that platform that I created to something the restaurants don't usually do, to take bookings like that. Some do take bookings online, but not the way I do it with events. And so modernizing is good. It's always good, even if people are not ready for it and they tell you your customers are you know, they don't know how to use the internet or how to book. Modernizing your platforms is always good. So that's what I always try to tell people: work on your website, direct people to your website. I've been working on my blog a lot lately, which is great for me, and it's a great way to connect with people, give them information. So yeah, I always, you know, my point is always blogging and social media is very good, and learning your way around that is always useful.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Very much. We're going to do like a question thing, like for people to be able to ask.
How long will we have?
Oh, it's about midday.
Okay.
Well, whenever really. No rush. But it's how we can all do things, and what ideas that we could have to help one another, and what we can do there. It's interesting here because I can see, Shanita, by what you're saying, there's Sanjay, I don't know everything about your business because we linked yesterday online. But Shanita, I could see 2 people, 3 people you could work with here immediately if there was something you could collaborate. In fact, 4. Yes. Hang on. 5.
Yes.
5 is going up.
Absolutely.
Oh, the whole lot. How's that?
Everybody.
Okay. Who'd like to go next? Well done, Helen.
Well, now, before we start, because I'm a novice at this, is my picture the little one at the bottom and I can see you face on? Or it should be the other way around?
No, I've just checked with my phone. If you move the pages, you will see all the people, because usually it will show 4 pictures. And then if you
move across the screen, you mean?
Around, it should show the others.
All right. Now I'm turning the device upside down. I can only see me and you.
Oh, okay. So that means you're only seeing the people who you're talking with at the moment.
Yes.
Right. Doesn't matter. That's fine.
I need lessons.
The next time you'll use the computer, the laptop.
I will.
I'll do a Zoom video on that. Okay.
Good. This is all new to me.
That's
right.
Good.
I'm Helen Grady, retired nurse, spiritualist medium. I work with Phil. Now that I've moved back to England, the northwest of England, I'm doing more stuff over the internet now, like the Cafe Clairvoyant show. So I'm learning.
Doing
And I've
brilliant.
been inundated with people saying, do you do private messages? Do you do private messages? And I was thinking, no. But so my friends have set me up a website, which I've had a look at it, but I haven't a clue how to use it. Apparently people are supposed to email me, and then that sends it to my Hotmail account, and then I'll contact them. But it's out there, but I don't know if people are seeing it.
Ah,
Any
okay.
clues?
Yeah, Shanina, Mila. Right.
What is your website?
This is exactly where we come in to help and to get things moving a little bit like this, and to do more involved sort of workshops on how to collaborate and get people moving.
Oh God.
What is it called?
Rubbish. It's HelenGradyMedium.com.
Okay.
And you know,
Right.
I'm not all fair with all this palaver. I can email and FaceTime, but
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We all start somewhere, but you're. I tend to look at it like this: is that whatever you're doing, you're the master of whatever it is you're doing. The skill set you got from nursing, the skill set you got from being a medium, and you're the master. You're a master at this. You've been doing this. There's something about you that's been doing this for a long time and wanted to do it, and it's part of your passion. Because sometimes here we have these stumbling blocks with social media, we sometimes think here that because we can't do social media so well, it affects us personally, that we're not good at doing everything else as well. Well, we are. We just need to know how to do it. You have to do it for us. We don't feel so numpty-ish, and that we're not competent enough to do what we're doing when really we are.
I remember once.
Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I'm the master of my own mistakes.
Well, the great thing about mistakes, there's no such thing as a mistake. It's part of your stepping stones to perfection.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. Okay.
I've got to learn though.
Oh yes. But it's a process, isn't it? But I'd say here is that all these stepping stones of experience to enjoy this, although you're saying you're learning this, is look at it as like this is going to be fun, rather than like this is going to be oh God, this is a mountain I've got to go and climb. Because if you've got people around you here who are saying here, right, okay, let's put this into a process for you where you start connecting and start working with people, then you're going to enjoy it. It'll be funny.
Oh, I'll have a laugh at that's for sure.
I'll tell you what I've seen here, rock it up, really go from nothing to like accelerated going towards the moon, is Angela.
Have you ever?
Angela, you got yes. Angela, you got your microphone off there. It's on now.
I'm on.
Yeah.
Hi everyone.
Yes.
Janina, were you about to say something?
No. Sorry, I was talking to Neil.
Oh, okay.
Before, yeah. No worries. You go ahead.
No, I was saying here, Angela, that from where you started off from last October, we met you last October for the first time.
That's right.
You were thinking about what you're doing compared to where you are now. You've rocketed.
Yeah, I have. It has. Yeah, it's. I'm really happy actually.
Good.
So yeah, I met you in October, and then I came up with the idea of starting off Turkish Kitchen in Javier, because I saw that there was a gap, no Middle Eastern food really in Javier. So I started up a group, Turkish Kitchen Javier. So I'm the creator of that. So I was born in London. My background is Turkish. So I share my passion for cooking Turkish recipes. They're vegan, vegetarian, and meat dishes. I've had people interested, and numbers have gone up, and people want to know more. People want to try my recipes out. So it's been great.
I've been one of those lucky boys to try the recipe.
Yes.
I mean, that was absolutely outstanding. Deborah, my wife, who loves cooking, she comes from a multicultural background as well in London. In her community, she had the Greeks, she had the French, she had the Moroccans, she had
Nice.
everybody in her environment. So she learned to cook with them supporting and helping her. But your Turkish cooking is absolutely unbelievable. It's gorgeous.
Oh no, thank you. And you know what? They're not very difficult to make. There are some time-consuming ones which I wouldn't, bother putting onto my group. And there's the easy dishes which I do put on my group that people want to try out, and they're not expensive to make. So, funny enough, though, I did put a post up this morning to find out how many parents are homeschooling. So I was thinking to give a little bit back by maybe throwing free Zoom lessons for kids.
Okay.
Easy, easy recipes, farm recipes. So anything from 7-year-olds onwards. So I'm just waiting on feedback with that, actually, to be honest.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I thought it was a really nice deed, and it's one way of giving back. Otherwise, I'm going to keep posting my recipes, and around beginning of February, mid-February, I will start catering, but on a very small scale, probably 2 days a week, and it'll be platters for 2 or platters for 4. It'll be a vegan platter or a vegetarian platter, a meat platter, and we'll go from there. But so far, the feedback's been really good, really positive. I'm really happy so far. So
that's all I've heard, Angela. That's all I've heard. That's all I heard is wonderful feedback.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it's great, and it's really encouraging, and it makes me feel good. So we, it's just it's slowly. It's just taking baby steps, and that's all it is.
You're taking baby steps, but the way your posts have gone viral, have gone like huge steps.
Yeah. So, but
well done. Well done.
I'm a one-man band at the minute, so I've got to be very careful. Just, got to be really careful. But I'm excited at the same time. So yeah, I'm just waiting for feedback to see how many parents are interested in put, on the free Zoom lessons, and just go from there, really. Because because there's lots of parents out there, they're stressed on what to do with their kids homeschooling at the minute, and I'm one of those parents. I have an 8-year-old. There are days that she's not feeling very motivated to learn, but she enjoys cutting vegetables and cooking with me, or making pancakes, or whatever it is that she enjoys. So that's what gave me the idea to maybe start up some classes, and see go from there.
Okay. Anybody else got any ideas for Angela that could take her up another step?
I think that's a very good idea, what she's just said about parents at home.
Mm-hmm.
It's just giving a little bit back, I suppose, because being a parent, it is stressful at the minute when you've got young kids.
Yeah. See, as a grandparent, I am looking after my 4-year-old grandson, and I make cakes with it, only basic cakes, but I've actually saved some of your recipes that's been on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not one for doing that, but I thought, oh, that looks nice. So I've made a little folder, and this is how I'm progressing. I've made a little folder on my iPad. I've saved 3 up to yet, because they look lovely. And I'm not vegetarian, but I like the look of the aubergine one.
Oh, yeah, that was really popular, the aubergine week, actually.
So you hit home with me. So
fantastic.
I'll definitely try with my grandson if you put things on, because they're never too early to learn.
No, they're not too early to learn. That's right. I mean, I will eventually, I will start Zoom classes for adults as well. But the first 2 classes will be free for the adults. But like I said, what I am trying to do is get people in the kitchen to try something new, but it's not so many ingredients, and maybe affordable stuff. So if there's things that you've already got in the cupboard and you're just going out to buy vegetables, and then you can come back and just making it as easy as possible, but yet they've tried something new, a new cuisine.
Yeah, and the current climate where people probably, if they've not got as much money as they normally have not working, and it'll keep them motivated than sitting around watching Netflix.
Absolutely. I mean, I used to watch Jamie Oliver his programs, and I used to think, I can't cook all that. He's got about 20 zillion ingredients that I need on his, and then he used to put me right off.
I know.
So,
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my aim. My aim is to get people trying new dishes, but with spending minimal as possible, and getting them in the kitchen, and just to go from there. So that will start around February as well.
I think you'll be quite successful at that, love.
Oh, thank you. And Janina, I want to start following you on Facebook. Actually, it'd be quite cool if you and I got together with some ideas soon. With
Okay,
your
cool, yeah.
with your ideas and my ideas. Yeah, the next few
Nice,
months,
yeah.
and then
This is great, Mila. We didn't even have to try here. It's just happening. People are connecting.
Bye, Phil.
That is the reason for this.
This is the reason. Yeah, the reason. That's magic. That's magic.
I want to say something.
Yes.
I think Angela is a very, very good idea. Myself, I have a son of almost 6, and I think it's very cool. I was just like, oh my God, that's a good idea. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Great. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Karina, whereabouts are you from?
Well, I am from Cuba, but I live in Spain.
Okay.
But I'm originally from Cuba.
Okay, brilliant. So what sort of, be interesting there, what sort of dishes do they eat out in Cuba?
Oh, it's very Caribbean. You know, it's like the typical. I'm gonna switch to the computer now. The main is like this black beans, then the white rice, and then you would put like pork, like normally it's done in like, you know, outside of your patio. It's not like in an oven. And then is the plantains. Then you can do it in very different ways. And then there's the yuca, which is almost like a potato.
Okay.
And yeah, that would be like the basics.
Okay.
Then we have the same, instead of having like the black beans all like with the sauce, and then you put over the rice, then we have the same but dry. You cook it together. Well, yeah, it's delicious. But I'm very looking forward to try Angela's food, because I've never tried Turkish. So, and I remember the last time we had the Cafe Networking, she was speaking, and I was just like, that sounds good. Yeah, as you can see, I like to eat.
See, we got so much interest here, and this is what I like about this: is you've got the interest in your food, Karina. Angela, you got interest in your food. You got people who are networkers and people who like to promote people, and just having I could just easily see Karina and Angela sat together talking round a restaurant bar, talking about different types of foods and how they sort of mix and match. I mean, Karina, I know where you're coming from. The different types of dishes where you say rice and the beans, we tend to call that rice and peas.
Yeah.
Rice and peas with the Caribbean dishes, and then with the jerk.
Rice and peas.
Rice and peas, yes. In the Caribbean culture, is rice and peas. Although it's called beans, black beans. It's
black
actually
beans.
Rice and peas. All we can say is walking is a
If I leave now, it's because I'm gonna switch to the computer. Okay.
Okay. I may have to dash out into my back patio there because there's a huge gale blowing out here. I've got a sneaky feeling that my washing line has just disappeared. So if I quickly do that, I'll be back in just a minute. But yes, let's okay. Welcome, Yanira. Well, you need to we need you to unmute your microphone.
Welcome, Puerto Rico.
Welcome, Puerto Rico. Oh, lovely.
It's 5 in the morning.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you look brilliant for 5 in the morning. I look scary at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, it's the Caribbean power here.
Sorry?
The Caribbean power, Puerto Rico, Cuba.
Oh yes, it must be. Yes.
International. We're all international today.
Yes.
Robert, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself while Phil goes and collects his
Collect my washing. It's gone halfway down the street, I think. All right.
Go ahead, Robert.
Hello, everybody. My name's Robert. I'm down here in Costa Blanca South, down in Los Dulces, which if anybody knows where that is, it's next to Zeni Boulevard. And if nobody knows where Zeni Boulevard is, then they're not doing the marketing well enough, because they're the largest open air shopping centre in Europe, so they say. I worked for 21 years for Yellow Pages in the UK, and during that time I was trained on Google, Facebook, Twitter and everything else. And as a result of that, I've been able to help many businesses throughout the years get more from their online presence. So down here in Costa Blanca South, I've got many customers and businesses that I work with, where I help them with whichever aspect of social media and online advertising they're looking to achieve. So I do obviously Facebook, Instagram, Google, Twitter, websites to help people, etc., etc., etc. So I do all that kind of stuff for people, and it works. So I've been doing it for many years now. And as I say, I was here in Spain, started off working with Avalon. I was head of marketing for Europe for Avalon for 3 years. And for the last 4 years, I've been kind of doing this. And it's great to be part of this group. So thank you to Mila and Phil for inviting me along to this. It's excellent. Thank you.
Great to have you along there. I didn't catch what you said there, because unfortunately I was just rescuing the washing.
Oh, it's the same old thing. 21 years at Yellow Pages, living in Costa Blanca South, blah, blah, blah.
Now, actually, Robert, if I remember rightly, I remember listening to a conversation of yours over at the Akinon Resort. And when you were there, you were talking about the Yellow Pages, about how you communicate with people and how you remember things or put things in a way across, which is very, I would say, is very NLP based. But I thought it was, I remember that conversation, I thought that is magic, the way you talk to people and how you come across to them, to be able to almost know what they want, talk them into what they want.
Well, I mean, I was very lucky, because at Yellow Pages you get exceptionally good training, and I'm sure anybody who has been through the Yellow Pages experience will be able to say that. But in addition to that as well, I did an NLP course in 2010, so I'm a qualified NLP practitioner. But it's you can talk about what you're saying is about the magic of words, etc. But the bottom line is, words is everything. The words that people use are all relevant to the words that they are actually experienced at some time in their past. And if I say to everybody on this call just now, what does the word Mars mean to you? You'll all have different results. Some people will talk about the planet, some people will talk about Mars, some people will talk about Bruno Mars. And as a result of that, if you can think of the fact that we've got, 8 or 9 people on this call, and you're all going to come up with different reasons for what you think the word Mars means, then if you say 10 words to somebody, that person can completely misunderstand what you've said, because the words that you're saying to them, their understanding of that word is completely different. So it's really, really important when you're advertising your business, and either online, in print, or wherever, that you use words that are neutral to allow people to understand and get the message across to them, so that they're opening up to wanting to hear what you've got to offer. And a very, very good example of that was, and apologies in advance if it makes anybody wince here, but there was a company in a beauty salon in Edinburgh who were advertising, spending lots of money in the local newspapers. And one of the salespeople in the team, because I was the manager of the team at the time, salespeople came to me and said, look, this person's spending loads and loads of money and they're getting nothing from it. And it's a beauty salon, and it's quite popular, and it's a good location. And then I looked at the adverts, and the adverts had, and again, I apologize in advance on this, hot wax treatments. Now, as soon as you say hot wax treatments, that doesn't actually give people the confidence to say, I actually want a hot wax treatment, because hot is a very, very, very specific word, and it means a completely different thing to different people. And the advert was also mainly red as well, which didn't really help. And so for all those kinds of things, it just completely switched people off. So I said, right, okay, well, we need to change this. The main reason why they do what they do is because they want people to go on holiday and get their treatment before they go on holiday. So it was very straightforward. Looked great on the beach. And that was a headline with a picture of the beach, people in the beach sunbathing, etc. and the inquiries just completely changed overnight. And it's things like that is a very good example of, if you look at every advert, you can see words within that advert that you actually think, oh yes, I like that word, or no, that word switches me off. And it's either conscious or subconscious, but you need to make sure you appeal to that as many times as possible, so that all the words that you use end up being something that people are interested in finding out about. Because as soon as you switch people off, they'll then move on to the next thing and you've lost them.
This is very interesting, actually. Very, what you're saying. I love NLP, and I love NLP talk and to make it work, but it's also related to music. And I like playing my guitar in the background there, my guitar. And when you do solos, you come back to what they call the root note. So when you hear a lead guitar that's playing it, they'll always play the root note more than any other note. So you'll hear it if you listen to it, there'll always be one note that they'll come back to and play a lot. The rest of it, they play around it. So with NLP is you have these conversations, but come back to that root word you're trying to say. And it's easy to say here, because it's great. I can talk to you guys and we're building communities. I can keep dropping in, building communities as we go through these conversations. And because I'm coming back to the root note, the root sound of what cafe networking is. I agree with you, Robert. I think it's fantastic the way we advertise. I'm trying to think some of them that I've come across. I'm thinking, you can't put that. You can't say that. It's either sounds completely offensive, sexist, or you completely lost your market by offending people. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Angela's advert on Instagram, for example, she's got passion and love as a headline in her advert as to what she's got. So straight away, passion and love in the vast majority of cases will create an emotive response that's positive. And you have to really think about that, particularly when you're doing your headline in any type of advertising to introduce yourself, that you use words that are not going to have a negative impact on the person who's reading it.
I was at a, sorry, I'm jumping in here, but I love having this conversation. I was at a funeral quite a while back for a friend of mine who passed over, and this guy's mum and his young boy were there. And as I was watching the service there, I was listening to the priest. It's interesting the way he was talking and giving the sermon for the funeral. And he was saying as he's going along with the speech, he says, eventually we are born into this world, but then we return back to but dust. And this little boy turned around and said to Mum, what's but dust? What's but dust? So everybody laughed. They didn't quite know what to say, because they didn't expect anybody to say what's but dust. It's quite funny. But to me, it's amazing how you can have points of celebration, and you can all laugh at things. That even at a funeral, when it is a celebration of life, you can still find there's light, there's love, and there's humor there somewhere. I thought it was quite funny. Yes. Okay, right. Sandra, you there?
Sylvia?
Oh, sorry.
Hi, yeah. Sorry being late.
Sylvia's from LinkedIn as well. Now you know why I love LinkedIn, but that's for another day. Sylvia, please introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Sylvia. I'm living now for 23 years in Spain. I'm of German nationality, and I'm actually, very focused in my data protection company, although we got another huge marketing growth company in project, which will be released by the end of next month, which will be a women project, something completely new, because it's still a very male subject in this world. So it will be 3 women. And basically what we do here is take care of data protection issues for all sorts of company in this country, in Spain, in different languages if necessary. Obviously, we focus on big national companies, which is our main target, but we got quite a few foreigners already, Belgians and whatever, because especially in the coastal area, as you know better than me, we are more foreigners than the natives. So we got a huge market here, and well, we really try to help our companies to comply. Currently, we got this huge campaign, because by the end of this month, which is next week, Sunday, all web pages have to comply with the new cookie rules, whereby you have to select, or you have to allow your customers to select which cookies to choose, which ones you want to allow the web page to browse. And there's still a big market, because from all the pages we review, there might be 2% complying. So we got an issue here still. So this is our main goal at the moment, to make sure that people comply, that they don't have any claims or bigger problems, because I don't know whether you've seen it in the news, but last year Spain was the country where the biggest amount of claims were issued, and large numbers. Only the Caixa bank was fined recently 6 million euros because of data breach. So we got an issue here, and with this 5G technology, it's getting even worse, as you know, because data is the main goal for all companies right now. This is our work here.
That's a lot of people don't know about this. I don't think a lot of people don't know about it, especially when it comes to web pages there, and that they've got to have these cookies. And I think that's a big thing. That's a very big thing to point out there. Would that be for? So when you talk about personal businesses like a one-man band, do they still fit into that same category?
As soon as you deal with personal data, it might be an employee, it might be a web page where you got cookies, it might be that you provide some sort of services where you need a telephone number, an address, or you send invoices to your clients, whatever. As soon as you deal with those issues, you have to have the data protection implemented. We had 2 cases, honestly, where we went to see the clients and we said, pleased to meet you, but you don't need us. One of those, to give you an easy example, is one of these small fruit shops that you got somewhere in the center, where they only pay or allow cash payments. They don't have any camera system installed, and they don't take any records of any data. There you don't have to need it. It's a one-man gang, as you say, and they don't collect any sort of data. But as soon as you have a card paying system or something where any external data is processed or collected, you are obliged to deal with it.
So very interesting. Okay. With the web host providers nowadays, do they facilitate that in with their pages?
No, you have to provide your IT people all this information, and they have to upload it and adapt the pages. We are collaborating with a lot of IT companies to this effect, to make sure that they tell their company, their customers, in effect, they come into our company then, being our customers, and it's a win-win situation, really. So we try as much as we can.
Okay. I think it's very important for everybody. I think it's an eye-opener for a lot of people, especially when you say Spain is probably one of the worst countries at the moment regarding this information. Yes, I know England and America, they're normally pretty hot, and they're up there quite quickly, especially because of America.
You would be amazed. It's right the other way around. Europe got the harvest laws for data protection right now. America is still very released about it. In fact, in America, they allowed WhatsApp to pass all the data to Facebook, and in Europe, it's not allowed because it does not comply with data protection regulations. And I'm in contact with some lawyers in South America, and they are confirming that they are just starting to implement data laws. So there are quite a few years, 4 or 5 years beyond what we already got.
Okay.
Yeah, Europe is the hardest with data protection laws, because that's why on nearly all the forms that you put for asking emails, you always have to say we will not share with third-party people, because, and even so, you still could get fined in Spain, because if you don't have the small print underneath, which most people don't have, it's not compliant. Whereas in the States, you can just send it like that and nobody really double checks it. But here it's quite, yeah, I've noticed. But anyway, it's a learning curve and it's something we have to learn.
Okay. Okay, that's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing that information there. So I know a
Most
lot
welcome.
of people out there would be at what? They're all going to be scurrying away now before.
Be careful.
Yeah, be careful. As soon as you start asking for people's information, this is their telephone numbers, their email addresses, anything like that. It's not just about money. Any information, you're going to need to have this data protection. But it's interesting. So I'm upgrading my website at the moment. So I'm going to take my old one down and put this new one up. But that information is going to have to go in it.
So can I ask a question then? If I'm gonna if I start a mailing list and I've got everyone's email addresses, where do I go from there? Does that combine with the data protection?
Angela, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm confused.
Is your business B2B or B2C?
Yeah, it's nothing at the minute. I'm not registered or anything, but at some point I will do. So
okay, I explain. If you set up a mailing list for companies and you obtain these details from internet, this is accessible and it's public information. The issue starts if you obtain personal data, emails from people with personal email addresses without their consent, then you got a real problem. You can't do that. You have to be
with their
careful.
consent. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then there's no problem. And you need to have the consent that you send them information, publicity or whatever you want to send them. So you have to be careful there.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Because MailChimp especially, when you start sending out emails, it gives you a list of tick boxes to say that these people have got your consent before you send them anything. Yeah. Yes.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. Any other questions there regarding data protection, guys?
Here we are.
I'm sure people.
Any real difficulties? I got my technician here. He is bilingual, so no problem at all. He can help you out.
Brilliant.
Sylvia, do you have Facebook?
We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We are very active in all social media. So wherever you need to find some information, contact details, whatever, just search for Data Protect Plus, which is our brand, and whatever you need.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Very interesting. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Wow, great. Okay. Sanjay.
Yes.
Hello, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. Oh, good afternoon, I think, to you, isn't it?
Yes, here, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. How are you?
I'm good. And I'm feeling very happy right now.
Good.
And yes. And one thing, like I will say, like hola. In
Hola.
Spain, it is called hello. Hola.
What?
Hola.
And gracias.
Hola.
Gracias.
What?
I know 2 words.
What's hello in Indian?
Hello is hi, normal. Namaste.
Oh.
Namaste, we say.
Hi.
We've all learned a new language straight away.
Yes, we're fluent. Yeah. Brilliant. Sanjay, tell us a little bit about you.
Yes, like I am Sanjay Goral from India, and nowadays I am a soft skill trainer, and I provide the training to the different and as well as online, offline. All right, and like nowadays I am having 3-4 classes like communication skill, public speaking, and like how to create different sources of income. So these are the like basic courses which I provide in India, and nowadays my target is to to broaden my like business to across the globe. I don't know that whether I'm going to be successful or not, but I'm thinking that I can like reach to different people. I can make connection with them so that I can grow my business in future. I think so. So I'm having my own website, yessanjaygoral.com, and I'm having my own company that is Yes Global Solutions. And I have started, but I am doing this training program for 3 years, and I'm very young right now also. And I'm also in the same way, I'm also pursuing my MBA degree, Master in Business Administration.
Oh, congratulations. Good. Good.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So, yes. So I think that like nowadays also I am in good position, and right now and like I'm trying to learn something from other people. So I'm really glad. And I have a question that while like I am doing this business, I'm having problem like negotiating, and like sometimes people ask for like huge discount. All right, because I am looking for like how can we build our business, but they are asking for negotiation, and they ask for like how can we reduce the price. So price doesn't matter, I know, but it is the thing like we are providing the value to them, so they should understand the value of the things, like whatever we promise we deliver. But they think that yeah, the prices must be less so that we can take your services.
Okay, okay. Sandra, if you could you just slow down a little bit, because the internet connection coming across is a bit jumpy. So we hear most of your words, but not all of them. But if you just speak a little bit slower, we'll catch it. We'll get that. It sounds exciting what you're doing. So out in India, what's your biggest platforms or the biggest areas that you're wanting to work in or help people connect with?
Yes, could you repeat me?
Yeah, sure. With over in India at the moment, what are people looking at? What do they want to build in? How do they want to network to gain greater visibility? What sort of services are they looking for?
Yes, absolutely. Like nowadays, we are having two problems. Like first problem is that lots of students are there because India is a youth country, and we are having lack of communication skill and employability. You know that having qualification, but they are not eligible to do a job. That is the problem. So if we give them proper education regarding the communication skill, computer education, and like literacy, like you know that economic literacy, like different sources of income are there. So how can we make them aware of that? Because there are many areas where the people are unaware of education. So that is the one thing. And second thing is that online, like most of the people, they do not have idea how to use the online platform. All right, because everybody is using Facebook, like Instagram, I know, but how to use it in a practical way, in a
Yeah.
business perspective, that is the challenging task for most of the people. All right, we see that in the like urban area, like Bangalore, Chennai, like Mumbai or Delhi, if we visit, then they are okay with that. But when we go beyond that place, that time the like you know a rural place, that time the people are unaware of anything. So that is the
Yeah.
problem. So we have that opportunity that we can get into that area, and we can give them the proper education. So my target is also like that. I am not targeting to any urban cities. My target is the rural cities, or people who are unable to get all the things which they are to be get. So that is the my motto, and I'm trying to reach to them through like social media. And because due to COVID-19, we it is not possible for to go in person. So nowadays I'm conducting session on Zoom. So that is becoming possible for me.
Well, that's a big market for you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. You'll be a very busy man over there. So I think it's good where you're in the middle ground between the people where you are and the people over here, and what you can do to collaborate in between. I think is amazing. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. And no, brilliant. So your skills there are mainly to do with how to train people to gain skills in online, and that sounds good there to do that. Brilliant. Have you got any questions for us?
I'm having one question that while interacting with like different people, all right, interacting with the different people, like negotiation, as I told you before, negotiation becoming challenging for me. Like negotiation skill, it is very essential, I know. But in business, people are asking for discount, as I told you before. So that is the problem. So how can I handle that situation, like
I
negotiation
I
with the
I
price?
deal with that a lot. I actually deal with that a lot in my business. We do events and caterings, and people, we have retreats. So they go, I given this price, and they say, oh, but we book in 2 weeks, we want a discount, and then you're working for the minimum, and it's something that honestly, I in my situation was just believing in what you're doing enough. Because the other truth is that people sometimes don't want cheap things, you know, they don't want a cheap, they just want to try for you. And a lot of people go, oh, give me that discount, and you give it to them, and they, oh, I don't want it anymore because you sold yourself cheap a little. I think it's about, you know, really trusting yourself and also explaining to people what goes behind your work. And I heard this thing one, and it really stuck with me, that there was this, I saw it on a video, and there was these people on the street selling homemade, like ceramics, no? And the people were, how much is it? And they would say like 20 euros a piece, and people would go, I'll take 2 for 30 or something like that, and beg the price. And then the person started saying, how much is it? And he said, well, 6 hours of my time. So people never ask for a discount anymore after that, because when you put, you let people know how much work you put behind things, they start calculating in their head, oh, well, that's less than really 5 euros an hour, you know, it's really little money. So, you know, try to change the language you use with people. You know, instead of saying price, I like to say investment. So people, you know, we switch those words there, and people get a, oh, I'm investing, yes. And just explain to them what's behind of it, and stand your power, and don't be afraid to put your prices there, to say once, you know, up front. Don't be like around the bush saying, oh, I give you an estimate, and then you sit and do your estimate, and you are overthinking your price, and oh, are they gonna want it or no? No, just put the number down that you think is fair, and set it right away, and don't waste their time with your time. Okay, just go for the people that really want your product, and don't waste the time with people that are, you know, don't work for free. That's what I'm saying. You can do it for a little to establish yourself. We all do it. We all do work for free a bit, but at some point you have to start stepping in your power, and putting your prices what they must be, and be honest with people. Be honest, you know, tell them what's behind your work. That's valuable, I think. But it's hard.
I think you made that like music. It's brilliant. That was good. That's the value of yourself there. Is
oh
great.
my God, I know it's one of the hardest part. I'm still struggling with the 13 years having my own business, and I still go, oh, well, I can give you a little better price. And in back of my head, I know, oh, Shanina, you're going to be losing the money you need, or you're not going to be making what you need to make. And you think, oh, I'll do it this time. And then just this time for this person. But this person goes to tell somebody else, and he comes and say, oh, but my friend got this discount, so I want this discount too. So it's a snowball if you start like that.
Yes.
You just got to know your product and put the right price and stick with it. And if it's worth it, yeah, give a discount. You know, I can give you a good response. Is like, yeah, I can give you a discount, but you need to invest this much. You know, from this price on, you get a discount. So entice them that way, but don't give your work, don't undervalue your work. That's never a good idea.
I think Shanina, I think that's the right language to use, and I think investment is a great word to use. Maybe it's there's other verbs or adjectives like
yes,
value,
absolutely,
like value or
value,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but no price or cost, because they're negative words. You know, they imply kind of losing the cost of it. But investment, value, you know, I think people look at it. I put it on my website with the retreats, and people love it. They say, oh, investment. Yes, it is an investment.
What I would like to add is think about two issues. First, which is your ideal client? So that all your communication goes really to your ideal client, not out to everybody. You don't want everybody as your client. You establish your ideal client at this very point in time. It might be that in 6 or 12 months, you have to reset this issue. Hopefully, you just got the next level. But once you get that, try to think of your added value to your services, and then all your communications, try to explain them the added value. Which is the difference? What do you offer more compared to other providers? Okay, first your ideal client, and then what is your added value? And this should be your communication strategy, and it makes your life a lot easier. Tell me.
I agree with you. It's very much like going into a supermarket and finding one cake that's €5 that's got a couple of ingredients in it, or finding another cake that's got 20 ingredients in it, including fruits, nuts, it's got a bit of sherry in it, it's got something else, and it's 3 times the price. But no, I'd rather go for that one because I'm going to enjoy that one a lot more than the one that's going to be €5.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Angela,
You'll be
that's
surprised.
as well.
You'll be surprised how much people respect your work when you respect your work.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. And I think it's like when you go to buy something, you buy a car, you buy a product, and yes, you look at the price, but often enough, when you go to buy something, you'll look at the most expensive because you'll think that's what you want, rather than look at the cheapest. The cheapest has a feeling of like it won't work, it will break down, it won't be as good. So yeah. And I think there's something to do there as well. Is don't never undersell yourself, what you're capable of, and really react to the feedback people are giving you about your food. You need to set your value there.
No, thank you. I agree with what Janina said, because I went through this with my artwork. I'm still doing my artwork, but it's just been put to the side for a minute. But most of my pieces are commissions, but it was always, can you give me a little bit less? Can you give me a discount? And after a while, it kind of got a bit tiring. But I think I just didn't have the strength to say, no, I can't give you any more discount. And then when you are explaining the value of that piece, how many stones you buy, time and effort that goes into that piece, and then afterwards it would even put people off buying one, and I'm thinking, well, then what do people want? They want something for nothing, know. And I found that's what was happening to my pieces at one point. People just want something for nothing. So I've got one piece I can't shift, because as soon as people inquire about it, it is an investment. It's something that goes on a wall, and it's like a wow factor. But as soon as they ask for the price, it's like, are you joking me? And then I'm like, explain, these are how many crystals have gone into my pieces. This is the hours I put into it. This is the cost of the frame. It's bespoke. And they still don't want to spend. So part of me just thought, okay, I need a break from this. I'm going to put this to one side, and I didn't have that, didn't have what I have now. I will put my pride. Go on. It takes experience. It really
takes
does.
practice. I used to do it just because I thought I have to take all the business that came my way, and I used to take anything and just try and make it work. And, it no long ago, it happened to me back in September when we got called to do a small wedding, and we went all the way there to have a meeting with them, to look at the place. They were and as I sat down to talk about the food and the numbers, the mother of the bride says, okay, we want to spend 15 euros ahead. And I just laughed at her. This is the first time in my life when I just couldn't help myself. I'm like, are you insane? You want a wedding? You want, all this food and made into a little buffet, and all vegan but of quality. And yes, a small wedding. You understand? I understand that, but it's also, that's the point. It's a small wedding. If I'm gonna be getting 10 years ahead for 10 people, what is the point of me even getting out of bed? So I just said, well, I'll send you a proposal. I give a proposal. I charge them 50 euros ahead, and they went for it. They try, like you said, they try, but you have to explain to them why a 15 euro menu for a wedding is just ridiculous, and you get, a sandwich maybe, and but you have to explain it to them, because they really don't see what works goes behind your work. They don't get it. Like you painting, they think, oh, you're a painter, you know how to do this. It takes you no time, right? Or it takes you no effort. People really don't get it, and that's why it's your ability as well to learn all these communication skills, to be able to put a message, the added value, like she said before, what you are bringing up to the table. In my case with caterings, what I do, nobody does around here. Completely plant-based, vegan catering. They will bring ideas there for only for vegans kind of thing. And when we do the retreats, it's even harder, because people are in a business. They're not a couple that getting married. They are making business out of retreat, so they're gonna fight the price a lot and a lot and a lot. And so my added value there is always, I am not catering, I'm a host. So I host with you. And when you need a break, you can take a break and go relax. I'm gonna make the food an experience that goes along with the theme of the retreat. I do all those things. So then when people, okay, that's a higher price than most caterings, but I get so much more out of it, and my guest gets so much more out of it than it's worth it. So,
but that's what they remember. That's what they remember is you,
exactly.
is your service, you know, and it's
Yes.
something that they'll take away with them forever. You know, they'll always
Exactly.
remember that.
Exactly.
So,
and the overall service is what is important, the overall service to the guest.
Yeah.
So if my catering is helping with that in more than just serving food on the table, then that's the added value. That's why I charge more. Plus I like to talk, so I keep people entertained for a long time.
Janina, where are you located?
Benita Chell with Fearless. Yeah.
Okay.
You're just down the road. Literally, I can look out my window and wave at Shanina.
Hello.
Hello.
Look at the same light, see?
Yes.
Okay, all are from like Spain or any other country? May I know?
I'm Spain, but I'm Argentinian. I'm from Argentina and I live in Spain right now.
Argentina.
Yeah.
We were going to have a lady on this morning from Australia, but I think she's not too sure where she disappeared to. I don't think she could do it this morning. It's interesting what's going on so far. And one of the things I'd say is, I think, Sylvia, you hit it on the head, especially for Angela. And well, most of us here, is the fact here to know the target audience you want to aim at a product at. So where you've got your crystals there and what you made up there, Angela, with what a value is, you only need to talk about that to a particular audience who would be the right clientele for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a learning curve. You learn as you go along, you know, and you make mistakes as you go along. And that's how I've learned. So with my Turkish kitchen now, I have learned so much from my other work that I know what prices to set. And I you know, and if people start, like Yanni say, you start asking for discounts, you'd explain why. No, you know what, this is the price I set. I can't sell it too cheap. A lot of ingredients goes into this dish. A lot of time goes into this dish, you know, and on top of that, you know, you got to, and diesel as well. People don't always.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's such a cultural thing. It's such a cultural thing. You will never go to Mercadona and fight the price, would you? You will never go to McDonald's and fight the price. You wouldn't go to Gap and fight the price. It's unthinkable. So why we fight the price on people that are self-employed, they have families to sustain, that extra euro makes a difference to them, not like a supermarket. So, you know, I have it in my family, people that we go to the restaurant, the markets, and they're like, oh, asking for 2 for 1. And, you know, and I'm like, they're the children sitting right there, you know, waiting for the money. I don't have it in my heart to do that. So I find it kind of uncomfortable when people do it to me too in that way, you know, sometimes.
It is uncomfortable. It does make you feel uncomfortable.
In a way, undervalued.
In a way, it is insulting a little bit that people do that, and they're expecting you to prey on your vulnerability, or your weakness, or a kindness, or you're going to give in. But then, if someone spends here, for example, I know this. I work in hypnotherapy, and I help people to stop smoking. And my price to help people stop smoking is high. And I set it high because people are doing 2 things. They're investing a lot of money into the fact here that if they're going to invest that money, they really want to do it. They really want to do it. And secondly, they're sick and tired of smoking. They're sick and tired of it. So when people come to me and they want to quit smoking, they've got investment to pay, and they're going to they know that within probably 3 to 4 months, what they would have spent on smoking, after that 3 to 4 months, they don't spend anymore. And all that money then that they would have spent on smoking goes in a jar, for example, to go and spend on a holiday, to go and buy a car, to go and buy your wife something nice, to go and buy, or your husband, whoever it is, a male or female. And but if I had the price lower, so it wasn't expensive, it wasn't anything here, people wouldn't value what it is. It's interesting the way.
Not only that, Phil, their engagement would be a different story, because if it's cheap, well, then it doesn't matter. But if it hurts in a way and you pay for it, your engagement, it's a lot higher, because you pay for it, so you need to get something out of it.
Absolutely.
Well, I've done hypnotherapy with Phil, and you know I pay for it, so I was like, you better go there because we pay for this. You know, it's true, it works.
Thank you very much.
And I did, and it worked. So
Hey, well done.
Good.
Well
Good.
done. Well, I
Yeah.
suppose
I just
what we're
wanna-
saying to Sanjay is just to have self-belief, Sanjay, if that's the answer you're looking for. Just have to believe in yourself and just, you know, stick to your guns and, you know, keep going how you're doing it now, and you know, you can't please everybody.
No.
You know, you can't please everybody. You can't. Not in any business. It's difficult. It is really difficult. He just has to keep going and just keep believing in himself. That's what I'm doing. So
Angela's working.
Yeah. You get up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you go, you are worth this. You are good at
It's the only way
this.
to do
You're
it.
not gonna
Yeah.
take no for an answer, and you just go for it. You think people think I'm joking when I say these things, but I actually do this every day. You know, I do. It's called mirror work, and it really helps you
Yeah,
empower
I agree with
yourself,
you.
and
Yeah.
and you look at yourself fully, and you stand your power, and you go there, and you not take no for an answer.
That's
I do
it.
that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
I totally
I agree.
Yeah.
I do that with my dog when I take him out for a walk. I do exactly the same thing. I'm out there talking away. A dog's looking at me going, what the hell are you doing? Anyway, no, it's good stuff. Good stuff. It's good reason to have a dog. Sanjay, I would say here that some of the ways I think here that your work would benefit, it's just because you're in the middle ground, you're in a very powerful place. Are you still there, Sanjay? Because your screen is moving. Sanjay? We lost
Yes,
it.
yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good. You're in a very powerful position because you're in the middle ground. Where's he gone? No, Sanjay's disappeared. Oh dear, hopefully he comes back in a minute. Yes. Oh, never mind. Yes, he comes back in a minute. But this is so interesting, guys. Your engagement. I love all your talk here. I love your theories, and how we're all sharing ideas. What it's all about to help one another. Yeah.
This was great to do it online because we can connect from farther.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
It opens more variety, more businesses, and more connection.
Yes, and I think as well as about looking at us guys here, and thank you. Oh, good. Kinira's just brought in coffee for us all. Thank you very much.
I was just thinking about that right now.
Yes. I came prepared.
Oh, you were smart. Yanira, please introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Dana. I live in Puerto Rico. Here.
Hi.
I speak a little English, slow English. So I try to speak. I would like to hear with
If we help you in Spanish, I think most of us are bilingual at least, if not trilingual or fourlingual. So,
but I think most of us are bilingual, aren't we?
I'm not bilingual, but two of us here are bilingual.
Que puedes hablar en castellano si quieres, que hablamos todos castellano también.
Claro que todos hablamos castellano. Bueno, menos dos. Pero bueno.
Habla despacio para que los que no van tan, que se entiendan.
Yo también.
Pues muy bien.
que para mí es un placer estar aquí compartiendo con ustedes. De verdad que me siento muy bien con ustedes aquí compartiendo. Es la primera vez y me siento muy bien.
¿Qué te dedicas, Yanira?
Me dedico al emprendimiento. Llevo 6 meses. Soy asesora en nutrición y también estoy empezando a dar mentoría con mi sponsor aquí, Mila, y yo estoy feliz de todo lo que estoy haciendo.
Okay, Phil, did you get that? And Robert, or oh no,
Robert speaks Spanish, isn't it?
Robert speaks Spanish. Then it's Sai.
It's myself and Helen. So and Helen.
Oh, you're
they're not Spanish yet.
Okay, so basically what she said first was that she was very happy and glad to be here. And this is her first time. Then Yanira asked her, what was she doing? And then she said, she's a entrepreneur. Yeah.
Nutrition, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. She's a nutrition coach, I guess. And yeah, she has started in the last 6 months.
Fantastic. Muy bien. Muy bien.
Muy bien, Phil. Muy bien, Phil.
Bien, claro.
Claro, no. Oh, good. ¿Qué tal? Bien. Okay. This is magic. So, and
it is.
With nutrition, is this with homegrown? Is this cultural with her environment, or what's going on there?
¿Vas? ¿Voy yo?
Es algo, él quiere saber si lo que haces tú es algo relacionado con tu comunidad, con qué tipo de nutrición es y qué es lo que, cómo desarrollas tu trabajo.
Ok, yo ayudo a aquellas personas que necesitan llevar un estilo de vida saludable. También tengo un grupo de emprendimiento que se llama Emprende con Yani, y ahí estoy enseñando poquito a poco cómo llevar a estas emprendedoras a que vayan creciendo en su desarrollo personal, y también les brindo las herramientas para que vayan haciendo de todo un poquito en Instagram, Facebook, Photoshop, diferentes cosas que estoy introduciendo ahora nuevo.
Como esto que hacemos aquí, pero con otro grupo, ¿no? Con mujeres para ayudar a lo mismo, digamos, a aprender.
Exacto.
She says she has this business, the nutrition business, but she also has this group of women where they help, like a networking again, when they help each other learn on these tools and how to promote and how to use social media and everything. ¿Cómo se llama, me has dicho, el grupo?
Emprende con Yani.
Me llama la atención porque yo me llamo Janina y también me dicen Yani. Entonces, she's Shani like me too. It's funny. So yeah, she emprende with Yani means less
entrepreneur or
entrepreneur,
yes.
yeah.
Entrepreneur with Yani.
With Yani, yeah.
Okay, so culturally in your area, is food related health good or bad? How is it compared to, say, the West? So
yeah.
Repeat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, repeat, please.
Are there major health related eating problems in your area similar to, say, England or America?
¿Cuáles son los problemas nutricionales más grandes de tu zona? ¿Cuáles son los problemas que la gente más tiene que trabajar, digamos?
La obesidad, mucho.
Claro.
Claro, yes.
En todo el mundo.
I don't know what that meant. Yeah.
La pandemia, ¿no? La obesidad. La pandemia del mundo.
Okay, so what type of people are you looking to network with? How can we help you?
¿Cómo te podemos ayudar? ¿Cuál es tu cliente ideal o tu tipo de cliente para echarte un cable? ¿Cómo se te ayuda?
¿Cómo puedo yo, o sea, cómo es que yo puedo ayudar a esas personas?
No, ¿cómo podemos nosotros ayudarte a ti a conseguir tu cliente ideal, tu tipo de cliente que tú atiendes?
¿Qué te gustaría aprender o colaborar?
Ay, a ver.
Bueno, me gustaría colaborar. Yo soy una persona que me gusta mucho aprender y yo ahora mismo estoy en un proceso de crecimiento. Y el cliente ideal para mí, pues ayudarle a aquellas personas, como les mencioné, de que comiencen a llevar una vida saludable, que quieran emprender, que pierdan ese miedo escénico. Y honestamente, como es la primera vez que estoy aquí, de verdad que yo me siento como en familia. Y de verdad
¿Y lo haces todo presencial o haces algo online también? Con el tema
No,
de la nutrición.
todo online, todo.
Ah, online, vale.
Sí,
Entonces podemos ayudarnos.
por
Podemos
eso
pasar
es-
información.
Con esto de la
Claro.
pandemia, también nos tienen en, como le digo, en toque de queda. Que
Claro.
Confinados.
Vale, claro. Pues podemos hacernos todos seguidores de todos, ¿no?
Claro.
Podríamos poner la info de cada uno y...
Sí, aquí yo veo que Mila ha estado poniendo de Sanjay, de Robert.
Ah, aquí está, sí, mira.
Claro, lo que pasa es que le pincho, entonces se me sale la pantalla.
Vale.
Pues me
sí.
lo voy a apuntar y
a,
luego.
a ver, todos estáis.
Pínchalo después, no ahora.
Después,
Claro, yo aquí digo, too much.
no, what I need is the pages or the links of where you want to send people, and I will put it in the Cafe Networking group and create a list.
Okay,
And each week we're going to create a bigger list. And I would love to have your logos, if you have, to put on the website that hopefully this weekend I will finish. Hopefully. It's a work in progress.
Okay.
But we will create that list so that everybody will be able to network with everybody. And you never know, maybe next week someone says, oh, I need help with something. And you say, oh, look, the last networking event, I met someone who deals with that. Maybe they could help you. And we create that list.
It's a great idea. If we can publish what we are looking for, and you got somebody in your environment who can sort that out, whatever it is, it might be a special client, it might be a workshop, it might be Jesus knows what, would be great. So
it's the best way of connecting. And talking about workshops, while we are here in Petit Comité, in February, we would like to do what is this networking event, 1 in the morning, and did we say, twice a month, no?
Twice a month. So one's going to be in the morning and the other one's going to be in the evening. The one in the morning will catch the European and the Australian market, although Irene's got completely the wrong time. She thought it was 10 p.m. Not 8 a.m., which is, yes, so she's got another 2 hours before she catches up with that.
No, that's about
yes, so unfortunately, completely boo-booed. We've got a bit of boo-boo of that one. But it's to catch the European and Australian market in the morning and it'd be their evening. And then when we do an evening one, we've got a lot of people in America who would like to do the network as well, so we catch their traffic. For us people in the middle here, we're in Europe, you could do both. Yeah, whether you like to, so it works that way. But for instance, there, especially Sanjay over there in India, he can probably, I'm imagining it, just thinking time wise, probably capture onto both. And also for there in Puerto Rico, if it's 5 in the morning, when we do the evening one, it'd be later on in the day for you. So Yanira, the time will be later on during the day.
no arranca.
Yes. Yeah, so that's what we'd like to do. There's quite a few people in America who want to jump on these from all sorts of industries, and they're lovely people. Some of them are absolutely mad, but they're great.
What made you do Zoom? Oh, sorry, is it because Oceana's closed?
Sorry, who was who? Sorry, where?
No, it's all right. What made you do a Zoom call? Because isn't this something you'd normally do in...
All restaurants are closed now.
In Benicia and Oceana. Oh, okay.
All restaurants are made to close now for lockdown.
Yes,
that's why I think
we're on lockdown. We are on lockdown for the hosteleria. So the in-person events, I'm really thinking that this year it's going to be difficult. And if there are, it will be less than 6 people. So definitely they're pushing for people to learn how to use online.
Well, do you know what? This is so much more better.
It is.
You can sit in your pajamas.
It opens more.
It does.
But you lose that personal touch a little bit. A lot of people with the camera, it's like, yeah, okay, you have to get used to it. Janina's already.
Getting used to it. Yes.
I know how to use a computer. I just
for many people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once you get used to it, you still can meet one-to-one. I mean, if
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
possible, but
Yeah.
you can catch up with a lot more people. I mean, I wouldn't have the time in the morning, for instance, to go where you are. So it's difficult.
And
Mhm.
Sylvia, I know from another networking thing
We are
from
connected
Alicante.
everywhere right now, but
And-
we
and-
never met personally. It's
And we've never met
unbelievable.
in person, but we have a lot of people who we work with who, and at the end, we said, okay, on LinkedIn, right, when will we have a Zoom meeting, for crying out loud?
No way. So I said, today I will be there to see your face. If not, we never meet. So,
Oh, no, this is lovely. I agree, though. It's funny when you meet online like this, but it is fabulous when you do get to meet. Yes.
And Robert, we met Robert the day I met Phil in Alfaz. When I met Robert, and we met in 2 other networking events in person, and that's it.
Robert, I missed part of your presentation. How can we help you? What are you looking for to see whether?
Oh, how can you help me? Oh gosh, that's a good question.
Business-wise only, everything else excluded, please.
I mean, we've done cooking to bits. No offense to all you chefs out there. No.
I mean, from a business perspective, it's just a case of just getting things done. I'm really here to help other people, because 90% of the social media pages that people have for businesses, they're not set up correctly, and that's the same for here in Spain and also back in the UK. So nothing's changed. So for years and years and years now, I've been helping people get their pages set up correctly in the right way, and it makes a difference to their business quite significantly, because you've got 2.1 billion people who have got a Facebook page, and they think, oh well, I've got a Facebook page of mine, I can set up one for a business as well. But it's a different ballgame completely. And 90% of businesses haven't got them set up correctly, and they forget and don't understand that there's an option of being able to do this properly, and the amount they invest in that and the return they will subsequently get will be quite significant. But again, it's like anything else. You were talking about people who don't have the value of your the portraits that you create. It's a straightforward situation. This is what you want to do. This is what you want to achieve. That's how much I'm charging. That's it. There's no negotiation, and I'm very, very lucky, because again, I'm going on about Yellow Pages. In Yellow Pages, there was no discounts. Everybody paid the same rate, doesn't matter who you were. And for 21 years, that was the way things were. I just continue to go that way. And you'd be surprised when someone says to you, how much is the discount? And you just say there isn't any discount. How quickly so many of them will just move on to the next thing. Again, I guess they come from the situation of, well, there's no harm in asking. And if you appreciate that people say that, oh, well, they're going to ask me anyway, and you just say no. And don't be concerned about saying no. Sorry?
I can't hear. Oh.
Robert, are you into copywriting as well, or are you combining both issues a little bit, or?
Yeah, I mean, I write copy every day, yes, of course. I mean, I created adverts since a long, long time, and as a result of that, I create copy, create adverts. And what we were talking about with Phil early on was making sure that the copy that you use is the copy that's going to get a positive response rather than a negative response. When we were talking about the beauty salon in Edinburgh from earlier. So yeah, I write copy, gosh, goodness knows how many times every day, because I create posts for all the businesses I manage on whatever platform is their preferences. And the bulk of it's Facebook, but the bulk of the response rate comes from Google. So I clearly do both for them.
I'm just getting great. Well, I'm this brain that never stops, because we are starting this growth marketing issue right now, and we will obviously start it only in Spanish, the True Women. But I'm just thinking of the idea in once it is set up to put it into the English-speaking market as well, because then it opens us a bit of the world. So then I would contact you, Robert, because I'm not native. I'm pretty good at English, I know, but I'm not copywriting in English. I can do it in Spanish and German, but not in English.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I was invited down to the University of Murcia a couple of years ago now, to do a talk with a whole stack of people from agencies up and down the country who were at this seminar, and I was asked to go down and talk to them about doing this in English. Because I don't propose to try and do it in Spanish. It's a different mentality, and my Spanish is okay, but it's not good enough to do advertising for people. So I just concentrate on people who are looking for English-speaking clients. And I think there was about 60 or 70 people at the meeting, and I was on stage and doing the presentation. And as soon as I talked about how you interact with the English-speaking public by advertising, you could hear the oohs and ahs in the audience as to, the mentality for getting the Spanish market is completely different. And I'm not even going to try and go there. One, I don't need to. I've got more companies who are looking for English-speaking clients than anybody else. And if your Facebook page is set up properly, it'll automatically translate it for you anyway, whatever language the home person's language is. So that should not be a problem. But it was amazing to see that kind of response when I was saying, this is how you do that, that's how you do that. The whole audience was shocked. And, there's a lot of experienced people with a lot of agency years behind them who were in the audience, and they just didn't get it. And you still see just now when the Spanish agencies are trying to get the English-speaking market here, they miss the point so many times with the information that they've got and the copy they put right. And there's no particular blame for that, because it is what it is. You need to understand what your market is. I'm very, very lucky. I've done the English-speaking market forever, and I continue to do that here in Spain. And I wouldn't even think about venturing into anything else like Scandinavian, German, Spanish, or whatever, because it's important that you do what you do well. And certainly for the English-speaking market, gosh, I've done hundreds of thousands of adverts, I would suggest now. For goodness knows how many types of companies, for every company you can think of, and I've managed people doing the same. So I think for here in Spain, it was a lovely grounding for me to do 3 years as a head of marketing for Europe for Avalon. And if you can manage to make a successful Facebook, Twitter, and an online presence for a funeral plan company, then I think you have to give me some credit for that, because we had a very, very, very active page, and we did really, really well from it. And for the 3 years I was there, we increased the volume of sales by a considerable amount.
Well, I totally agree. You have to go back to native people who know the market, who know the mentality of the people, because it doesn't make any sense that if you write something now for the Germans, no way. It doesn't work, because you don't know how they think and how to approach them. So I think we will be in contact sometime later, though.
I think Robert's a very interesting guy and very worthwhile chap to have in contact with if you need to get your market out there and get your communication out there. And the fact is that it's great. It's a bit like
you say the lovely.
We are impressed, Robert. We are all impressed.
I love what Sylvia has just said, because I come from a multinational family. So my foster dad was German, my foster mom Italian. I'm married to a Spaniard, and me being with a mix of everything. So I laugh because when you have to translate something from English to Spanish, it's totally different, and the other way around. And then the same with German, it comes out totally. So you're like, okay, start thinking in the mentality of the people that you need to connect with, because not everything is for everybody. And that's the hardest part of copywriting, that you need to know which market you're trying to deal with.
I mean, it's essential that you identify with what your target market is. There are so many businesses in the area who, stick stuff out there, and they've got no thought whatsoever about what it is they're looking to achieve from the posts that they're doing. And it gets quite frustrating at times, because somebody says, "Oh, we want to be doing it this way," and I say, "Well, that's fine. You're the you're the boss here. So if you want to do it that way, then that's absolutely fine. It's not the correct way. There's much better ways of doing it." And again, there's a couple of other agencies around here who are trying to give information to people, and I hate to think of how many companies in this area who've spent a stack of money with one of the so-called agencies in this area, and they haven't got a Scooby what they're doing. They honestly haven't got a clue. And I get so frustrated because I sit there and listen to them, and because there's so many of them putting out so much rubbish on people's pages for their businesses, And I have to sit back and bite my tongue, because if I keep going on about it all the time, I'll just become across as someone who's moaning and groaning all the time, rather than saying, well, actually, this is the correct way to do it. And it's so frustrating. And, you know, I just, it beggars belief. I mean, there was one company who were paying God knows how much. I know that they were paying a lot of money every month to this agency in Torrevieja to do their bits and pieces for them. They contacted me and they said, look, we understand you're pretty good at this. The agency we've been with for the last 9 months paying what they were paying, which is a lot of money, considerably more than I charge. And they were having difficulties doing this and do that to the next thing. And I said, all right, okay, well, let me have a look at it. So we sat down and had a cup of coffee. He told me what the problem was. And I said, well, let me have a look at it. I'll come back to you. So the next day I phoned him up and I said, hi. He says, why are you calling me? I said, well, I fixed the problem. You can't fix the problem. You've only had it for 1 day. They've had it for 9 months. How can you tell me you fixed the problem? I said, well, I fixed it. So if you were able to meet today, then we can meet and I can show you what I've done. So I went to see him, showed him what I'd done. I fixed it all for him. He was like, oh my God, you've done this in 1 day and they took 9 months and they couldn't fix it. I said, well, that's what it is. He says, right, well, I'm taking you on board now. And straight away, he recommended me 3 other people right off the bat, because again, they were getting really, really bad advice. And there's so many people in this market, particularly in this area, who are offering that kind of service. And it's just nonsense. And I just have to sit back and go, okay, that's fine. That's what you want. That's what you think's work. That's fine. I know it's not going to. And again, I've had examples where clients have said to me, oh, we want to try and do this now because so-and-so down the road are doing that. And I said, well, that's not the way to do it, because it's your competitor and that's what they're doing. That's not correct. You should just do what we're doing just now because it's working really well. But if that's what you want to do, that's what we want to do. So I did all the bits and pieces that they wanted to do. I think it was 7 or 8 days later, his inquiries had dropped through the floor, and he just came back to me, says, what's happened? I said, I've told you what happened. You wanted to do it the same way they do it. That's not the correct way to do this. This is the way we've been doing it for a year or so now. We want to go back to that. And he says, change it now if you can. And of course, we changed it all, and it all went back to how it should be normal. And it's just so frustrating that people have to go through that kind of experience of basically losing business for 7 days that before they get it. And then I've been very, very lucky now, because people are recommending me on a regular basis, and I'm really, really busy on the back of that. So I'm very fortunate.
Robert, I think I can understand the frustration there, but it's also that's the dream you want, is that people to be frustrated when they come to see you, that they can't work out why their business are failing. They come to see you, and the magic works. The magic comes to life. But I think that's you're such a quiet chap who sits there on the other side of the screen listening, and then as soon as you start talking, everybody goes, oh my God, this is amazing. It's amazing. It's interesting because everybody's going to take something this morning from these meetings, but listening to you and how we've got to advertise and get out our message there and how to do it correctly. And when you've got experience, that's magic. So I think people need to maybe have a word with you, Robert. I think they really need to.
I mean, now it's more important than ever because of the situation that we're all in.
Yeah.
I've managed advertising teams through 3 or 4 dips and recessions, basically in the UK. And you know, those times we have got a sales force of however many people were in the room, and I'm trying to get them going to say, right, this is what we're doing now. But it's all about doing it correctly. If you do it correctly, now's the time to do it correctly. Don't be waiting until, you know, the hordes come back and we've all been vaccinated, or whatever the solution to this pandemic will subsequently be. Now's the time to start doing things correctly, because if you don't do things correctly now, then you're going to have nothing to go with when you get to the stage of whenever we go back to a life of reasonable normality. I don't think we're going to ever get back to where we were, but to get some kind of format for that.
The word, whatever it is, it's going to be go back to, whatever it is, whatever it's going to go to, not go back to, but go to. Yes.
Yeah, totally.
No, Robert, that's so interesting. I think everybody here needs a little chat with you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so we have done nearly 2 hours. Congratulations! Goodness me, that's awesome.
Before we go,
yes.
Before we go, can I make a little comment? Just a little comment. a while ago, well, actually like 6 years ago, really, I was going to the restaurants and I found this book, and I don't know what, I picked it up, not the kind of book I would pick up. And then when I go home, I read it, and it really changed my mind on business. And this is an old book that has nothing to do with social media, with any of that. Maybe some of you know, it's called The E-Mystery, The Entrepreneur Myth.
Yeah, that is a good book.
Why most small business don't work and what to do about it. And honestly, it's gonna blow your mind about what you're doing wrong with your business. It's from the early 90s. Then I went looking for more books like this because I thought, oh, there's gotta be more. And this was the top book that came up in all the lists about businesses. But it really shows you what you're doing wrong as a small business. You know, where are you failing? And it's this idea we all business owners have, that we have to do everything for our business, you know, and we don't know how to delegate properly and how to find the help we need. But it also really gave me a kick to really get to know how to selling, because it keeps making the point across of how we think. For example, in my case, as a restaurant, my business, my product is food, you know, and my product really is the restaurant. Everything in the restaurant, from the moment people come in, how clean it is, how the service, the food, the afterwards, how we treat the customers. I remember one thing the book said that is always going to stick with me. It is not the best written book, it's the best seller book. And so you can have the best product in the world, but if you don't know how to sell it, it's just as good as nothing. And it really got me a kick to really learn the business insights and be, okay, I am good at making food. I know that. Just keep reading about how to make better and better food. Is not going to get my business where I need it to go. You know, like I can make all this amazing food, but if nobody knows what it is or what I'm doing. So I recommend it to you. The writer is Michael Gerber, Gerber. I think it's phenomenal. And considering how old it is, I think
The E-Myth, right?
I write it here if you want on the
right. in the chat.
Great. Yes, great. Great.
Right. For the next event, we would like to know what topic would you really like discussed, and you can put it down in the chat. What businesses would you be interested to connect with? 2 types, for example.
Okay.
And I think all of you are already in the Cafe Networking group, right? In Facebook?
Yes.
Except Sylvia. I'll send you the link, I think.
I am.
You are? Oh, right, okay.
I'm everywhere.
You're everywhere. That is a good thing.
Also, I think, guys, in between that time is how we have met this morning, how we can either network with each other or how we can either recommend one another to other people to bring us to expand networking, to expand ideas and to expand business. How we could do that as well. Yes. Just a little story. I love little stories. There's a friend of mine, he wanted to buy a Jaguar XKR, which is a very nice car, and he was prepared to spend up to, I think it's about £22,000 on it in England. And he looked around and he saw 2. One was a purple one and one was red. And he liked the red one, but the red one was 25,000. It's more expensive. And then the blue one, sorry, the purple one, I think was just about 22.5. And he phoned both of them up, but he said to her, I had to go up and go and look at the red one. He says, but it was a long way away. So I said, well, what made you do this? He said, it was a salesman. I said, but that's okay. Tell me about it. He says, the salesman said to me, he said, come up, look at the car. You don't have to buy it. But what I'm going to do, because you've taken such a journey, I'm going to put you up in a hotel overnight. You can come up here, take your time, take the car out for a drive, get to like it and see what you think. He says, that customer service bought me the car.
Oh.
He says the way he looked after him, way he looked after him.
That's a perfect example of added value.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Customer experience.
Customer experience. Yes. Yes. I always say, and I think it's always a nice thing to say to people, is that even when someone's done business with you, like for instance, even there's Sylvia, that someone's come to you for data protection experience, is I always do this. So even after my consultation, I say, look, that was very nice to meet you. I don't want to just drop it just here that we don't see each other for a year or so, or maybe a bit longer than that. If you want, let's have a coffee chat sometime, just chat. And it works. It works. People love you. People love the humanness. If you've got something to tell you about yourself, and there's something about your stories, about whatever you're doing, what got you into it, into the first place, I think people love it because they remember it's not just your face. They remember how you talk to them. Yes, definitely the words you use, but stories are wonderful. People love stories. And I think here that it's a bit like that chap who sold in the car. He said, come up, have a look, put you up a nice hotel, go and drive a car around and see what you think. And he said, no, he says, it was no brainer. He says, that other one was cheaper, might have been a nicer car, but the value I have of this car, it cost me more, but that experience, as I remember that for my lifetime, he says.
Exactly.
Lovely, isn't it?
I have to leave. We got another meeting
Yeah, me
upcoming.
Right. Thank you, everyone.
I've
just looking at it.
Pleasure, and look
7
forward
minutes.
to see you soon.
Thank
It was
you.
really fun.
Have a
Thank you so
great
much,
day.
guys.
Cheers. See you in
Thank
a
you.
couple of hours. See you in a couple of hours.
Yes.
Yes. See you soon.
Wow.
And I think
Okay, thank you, Mila and Phil again. It's been great, as always.
Thank you so much.